What's going on, people? Welcome back to another player ratings video. Both of us got a smile on our face. As usual, I'm joined by Patrick to discuss that game. Yes, that 3-0 win over Norwich. Let's talk about individual performances. We both gave our reactions on the live post-match show, and me in my own reaction video as well. So we were both happy with the result. But in terms of individuals, let's jump straight into it. We had Vicente Guaita, who came back into the starting lineup today. And what did you think of his performance?
I think it's very solid today. What I like about him is that, as I've criticized him in the past, when you make a big save, he needs to make it, and he made another one today against Norwich, and he had a solid game back there. Clean sheet, which is massive for us, keeping a clean sheet, and also notice he had like a 95% pass completion rate. So he's getting much better playing out the back with his feet, much more comfortable. I told you earlier in the season I was very nervous when he got the ball in the back, but now when Anderson and Gray pass the ball back to him, I have no problem with him. So I'm very happy with him today. Good job.
Yeah, he had that. I'm not too sure about you, but he had them one or two moments where, yeah. That's the only thing that scared me about it, because Wardy came to rescue him. Even if we conceded one of them, honestly, like we would have still won. Like that's how poor Norwich were.
Exactly.
But despite that, his distribution was very key, and he was good at it. We missed him over the last two games.
I think so. I agree. Back. Yeah.
And right back, Joe Ward. Look, we both gave him a 7. We both gave Vicente a 7 as well. But for me, Wardy in this game, I'm not too sure if the stats back it up, but in terms of going forward and the passes, it seemed he seemed more at it in terms of with his passes going forward. I'm not too sure if his passing accuracy matches what I'm saying, but I thought he had a solid game all around. He didn't push and overlap as much, but even he had some of them moments as well in this game. But I just thought he was just comfortable on the ball. Whenever we got the ball, I was never nervous that I was never nervous that Wardy had the ball, and also defensively there wasn't that many question marks, going down his side. They pretty much targeted Tyrique's side, especially in the first half. But I gave him a 7. I thought it was a solid game from him.
Yeah, solid. Unfortunately, it doesn't back up your stats as far as passing. He had a 62% completion rate.
Interesting.
So it wasn't great. But again, overall, I thought it was solid defensively. It made that key block you mentioned before. And didn't need to get forward today. I mean, we had Ayew, we had Edward, we had Mateta going forward, we had Schlupp getting forward a little bit. So we didn't need to go forward today. But no, I thought it was a very solid performance by the captain today, Joel Ward. Good job by him today.
Yeah. I think this player, Mark Gray, is the key to our defense. I gave him a 7.5. You gave him a 7. For me personally, even if Tompkins is starting, even if Joachim Andersen is starting, Mark Gray needs to start. As soon as Mark Gray starts, we just look much better defensively. And I'm not too sure why you gave him 0.5 lower than me. But even when you look at the stats, I thought he had a pretty solid game defensively. He's very he's composed on the ball. Off the ball, he has IQ in terms of where to be at the right times. And today, I thought it showed why Mark Gray needs to start every single game, because we looked a bit more comfortable. And of course, we kept the clean sheet against the Norwich side, who haven't scored. Their starting 11 hasn't scored any goals so far this season. But I think Mark Gray, once again, he put a solid performance in.
Yeah, I mean, I could have given him 7.5. I thought Gahey was very solid today. Be honest with you, though, Norwich didn't really trouble us today. I mean, they really didn't trouble us. So we got a clean sheet, and I think I gave everybody in the back four about the same score, except maybe Tyrique a little bit higher. But honestly, Gahey was fine today. What we missed with him is that speed that he has makes up for mistakes we may make in the back. And him and Anderson together are the key. I don't think it's necessarily Gahey or Anderson. It's Gahey and Anderson together is the key. Not putting down Tompkins. When he gets in there, he does a good job. But I think when those two are together, we're a different side. You see a little bit better out of Anderson, a little better out of Gahey when they're together. When either one's not there, it's a little bit of a drop-off for either one of the two players. But again, I thought he was very solid today, Gahey. Nothing spectacular by him. But again, I wouldn't go crazy, because I just thought that, honestly, Norwich offered really nothing going forward. It was actually pretty pathetic by them today.
Exactly. We could have had no defenders, and we probably would have won that game.
We're going 2-1-3-2, so yeah.
The best highlight from Norwich going forward was the fan going on the pitch and needed trying to score a goal.
He was quality, by the way. I give him an 8.
Yeah, exactly. For Norwich, anyways. Joachim Andersen, both gave him a 7. Last game, I'm not too sure about you, but I was very, very annoyed with the goal that we conceded.
Yeah,
because there was no excuse for him not being able to out-jump Lucas Moura. All you have to
Exactly.
do is literally jump. In this game, I mean, the set pieces, we looked all right. He didn't really have, I can't remember Joachim Madison having to jump to head the ball away
No, it's
as
mostly
much. They pretty much
Kouyate,
played it on the
Mateta,
floor.
mostly. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
exactly. But in terms of his game, maybe playing out from the back. The only problem that I had that maybe didn't push him to a 7.5 is playing out from the back on the diagonal balls. I guess, him doing that so often in a game, he's gonna have errors. But it wasn't quite as accurate as passing that I noticed.
Yeah, passing wasn't as accurate today, but again, I just like having him back there for what he can bring. Again, going back to the Tottenham match, no excuse for that. He's got to be better. He's got to be stronger. Again, he complements Gahey well, which is why I like him. I don't really like Anderson by himself. I don't think he's a really good central defender by himself, but with Gahey, the way we want to play out the back, I think he's competent today. And again, Norwich offered nothing today, so Anderson was fine. There were no really high balls for him to worry about, getting out jumped. Just want to go back to what you said about set pieces. By the way, we've gotten a lot better on that. Remember, we complained about it for most of the season.
Yeah.
The last 6-7 games, we've really done a much better job. I don't know if that's a tweak in the defensive players marking differently, maybe going to a more of a man-to-man versus zonal. But I've noticed a lot of Kouyate getting really involved in clearing balls. Benteke was in the game today. Mateta was doing it. So got to give credit and obviously give it to the back four. The back four is much better on set plays this year.
Yeah, I really
Lately.
think it's just putting work in. It's
Yeah, I
just
think
we
so
put a
too.
work in the
I
training
think so
ground.
too.
As soon as
Yeah.
as soon as we start talking about it, we just straight away improve, which was
Exactly.
very quick as well. It's not like it's a long fix. I mean, we're talking about Leicester. Leicester conceded more set piece goals than us, but they've had
That's
this problem
right.
going on for 2 years. So we were
Right.
talking about whether the players can do it or not. Well, these players can. We just had to fix something in the training ground, and we've done that. And in terms of
Great.
Joachim Anderson's stats, 78% passing accuracy, which is not too bad. And talk about aerial duels, he won 2 out of 3, so he
Okay.
did have to jump today,
That
and he
works.
did
Yeah.
jump,
And he
which is
did.
very good to see.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then in terms of long balls, only 5 of them were accurate out of 13, which is maybe the
Which
reason
is
why
down
I
for
gave
him.
him a 7.
Yeah.
You can notice
Exactly.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Tyrique Mitchell, I don't know what words to use to describe him. The King of Palace, the current season king.
Prince.
The
He's
Prince, yeah, the Prince of Palace.
Yeah.
I gave him a 7.5. You gave him a 7.5 as well. The reason for my rating is, I'll bring the stats up in just a second, is they had lots of balls, especially in the first half, over the top, down his side. And they couldn't get through. It's as simple as that. On the ground, I thought he was very solid. They might have got through once or twice, but if you're looking at the game as a whole and the amount of times that they did try beat Tyrique, he done a very good job. He was solid once again.
Right. Again, we can say it's everything on match. He doesn't have a really poor match, that kid. He's only 22 years old. We were speaking in the post-match show. Stan brought up a great point. Maybe time for him to call it to England. Luke Shaw's not playing for Man United. Trippier's not playing at Atletico. Might be coming back to England. Honestly, Chilwell's injured. At this point now, he could definitely get into the squad. I'm not saying he should start for England, but I'm saying the next squad, if it's anytime soon, I can see him getting a call up, and he deserves it. He's playing really well, and today we just again solid. I mean, I think it was Zolis on his side today did nothing. It might, Giannoulis maybe they didn't do anything against him today, and he was just solid today. And again, he's been that way, and I like where he's getting forward. Today again, he linked up really well at Edouard on the left side, like he does with Wilf. I thought getting forward, he was in the box quite a few times today, so he did a really good job today, going forward and defending.
Yeah. In terms of the England role, it's pretty much not his defensive efforts. I think it's him getting forward. Personally, I don't think he's quite there yet.
I might say because the injuries, though, because the injuries and the form.
Maybe because
Again,
of
those
injuries,
guys aren't ready.
maybe
Yeah.
I have to look at it. I have to look at the squad and I have to see who's available, who's not. As you mentioned, Luke Shaw, Luke Shaw ain't playing, but you know how Southgate is. We're talking about the England manager. I mean,
But he mentioned him. He did mention him a couple of months ago. He actually brought up his name as far as players that are on the periphery at Paddy. He mentioned him, mentioned Gallagher, he mentioned Gahey, and he actually called up Gallagher. So I mean, it wasn't like out of the blue. It was actually Southgate mentioned it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, let us know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think? Do you think Tyrique is ready for international football, or do you think he needs a bit more time? Me personally, he's getting there. He's getting there, and I won't be surprised if he gets selected. Schlupp had to start today because Conor Gallagher, interestingly, I think they talked about after the game. It wasn't anything really COVID related. It seemed like it was just rest.
Might have rested him, yeah.
That's what it seemed like, which was quite a surprise considering that we've barely got any players. How many? I think we had 2 goalkeepers on the bench. today.
Matthews
Exactly.
and
So
yeah,
it was surprising that they gave him a rest whilst the squad is going through all these injuries and COVID issues. But Schlupp started ahead of him, and that goal today was not easy. It was not easy. But then there were also talks about I think T said it on the live match show afterwards. He said how Schlupp wasn't as good before that goal. What did you think of his performance? You gave him
yeah.
a 6.5. I think he's one of the
I,
lowest rated players.
He was. I agree with T. It was a great goal, well taken goal. Honestly, before that, he lost the ball quite a bit and was anonymous in that midfield. For the midfield in the first half, I thought Kouyate and Hughes were brilliant. I didn't even notice Schlupp, honestly. Now, in his defense, he was kind of given a very free role today. If you notice that, he was all over the pitch. He wasn't really playing right, left, or center or hold. He was all over the place. So maybe that was the Roberts might have told him to do something a little different. But I thought first half he didn't play well. Second half he came into the game a little bit more and played a little bit better. I think he ended up having like a 70% pass success rate, and for him that's actually pretty decent. I made fun of his United appearance. He had like 19 touches today. He had
40.
40. So that's double. So I mean, he's more involved today. So
More
again,
involved.
he was. I mean, again, I give him the 6.5 because of the goal. But honestly, I thought he was kind of quiet today in midfield. But that's not to put him down. I thought he was kind of quiet today, honestly. But
What do you
great
think?
goal. Great goal.
Do you think he was quite going for? I'm just a bit because in terms of like stats in ground duels won, he won 6 out of 9 of them. So
Okay.
he was involved defensively, and maybe if you're thinking about Schlupp, you're thinking about him going forward. Like that's the when you're watching the game subconsciously, you're thinking about what can Schlupp do going forward. But
Right.
in terms of his defensive efforts, it wasn't actually too bad.
Well, you were at the game. Did you notice him a lot? Over. Let's say we
Yeah,
got
yeah,
Hughes
I
and
did.
Kouyate.
And
Did you notice? Did you?
I
Okay.
noticed him more. I think we're going to talk about Edouard and Ayew and Jon Philippe. I think I noticed them more going forward, and I think
Okay.
they took control over the game going forward. But Schlupp in midfield, that goal was very good. And also defensively, he was involved. Like he was trying to put challenges in. So, maybe even going forward, he wasn't that bad personally.
No,
I just
I
thought he had a
I just thought it
7
was
out of 10.
kind of. I thought it was quiet, especially compared to Kouyate and Hughes. That's all.
Interesting. Well, talking about the blonde Iniesta, Will
The
Hughes.
blonde Iniesta.
This
Nice.
you gave him a 7.5. I gave him an 8. I said in my post-match, reaction show as well. I honestly think Will Hughes is going to be the future Palace captain. I'm not too sure if you see it on TV, but when I watch him, when he starts games or when he comes on, he's very vocal in terms of talking to other players, talking to the referee, like he looks like a leader out there. And today, once again, he controlled it in midfield. If we need to make quick passes, he'll make their quick passes. If we need to slow it down, he will slow it down. And I think he's crucial to us. We now get to see why Vieira did say he is Macca's replacement, because you can see it out there. He's got the talent. He's got the IQ, and he's technically gifted as well. And honestly, going forward, Will Hughes is going to be crucial to how we play. And today, once again, he controlled that midfield.
Yeah, he bossed it today. I tweeted out in the first like 40 minutes before even halftime came how great he played the first half. He won the penalty, stole a ball middle of the or like 20 minutes into the match, played the ball forward. I think Mateta or Edouard almost set up another goal. He played really well today. Listen, people were getting really excited, well, not excited, they're getting really upset as to why we hadn't seen Hughes. But again, I've got to credit Patrick Vieira. He waited for the right time. I think it was Leeds was the first game, right? We came on as a sub, right, late in Leeds match.
Yeah.
Put him at the right time. People didn't realize he did have a back injury for a while, so he didn't want to rush him. It ended up being where Macca was injured and Hughes coming in. He's been great. Listen, it's Hughes, Hughes, Gallagher, and some other player now rest of the season. You know what I mean? Those two cannot come out of lineup. They have been so good since they've been together. Even though Gallagher didn't play today, Hughes has been very good. It's going to be Hughes, Gallagher, and one other player rest of the season. Now, Kouyate's going to be gone now for AFCON. So is it going to be Macca back in for, those matches after, I guess, West Ham this weekend? Yeah. Or is it going to be Luca? Is it going to be Schlupp? Interesting. But like I said, today Hughes was very, very good. You're right. I see it on TV. You can say he's a leader. He takes the corner kicks, takes the free kicks. I see him pointing, talking to the ref, and all that kind of stuff. He's a really. I don't see him as a captain necessarily. Wouldn't surprise me. I'm just saying that as far as a player overall, Hughes has been a great addition. A great job by Dougie Freeman getting him in.
Have you been surprised? Because when we talk about Will Hughes, when we first signed him, he's been very good. Like we knew that he was good on the ball. He can pick up passes. But have you been surprised by his defensive efforts do you know he was this good defensively? Because he puts in challenges.
He does. I watched him a lot at Derby before he came through, and I remember my comparison was to Johnny Esther, only because of the way, the stature, and they're about the same age. And then I remember him going on to Watford, and he had a few injuries. But I always liked him as a player. I think we linked him about 4 or 5 years ago, but we didn't get him. I've always thought he was a decent player. Defensively, he has been better than I thought, but I think he was poor. But what I really like is his on the ball. He doesn't lose the ball. He doesn't lose. He's very ready to get tackled. And then again, even on for that penalty kick, he's in the box, holds the ball, get taken out for a penalty kick. You know what I mean? So I mean, yeah, that was. He's a really solid player. Great addition, really. I'm surprising he's done so well so quickly, but great addition to the team.
Yeah. Cheikhou Kouyate,
solid.
We both gave him a 7, but in terms of stats, he had 86% passing accuracy, 51 touches.
Wow.
Once again, these are the stats that back up my rating, which is why I gave him a 7. Ground duels 1, 5 out of 6, and aerial duels 1, 4 out of 8. Defensively, he knows his role. He's got his role, and he just perfects it. And that holding role there, he can do a very good job out of it. And today, once again, Norwich didn't have much going forward, but when they did cut through the lines, he was very good. Cheikhou Kouyate.
But the funny thing, you said holding role, but you know what? That actually has gone to Hughes. He actually plays more of the Maka role. Remember we talked about that? How they switched it? It's really weird how and something they interchange. But again, Kouyate's been solid. My big issue was always with him with his passing. Always goes backwards, sideways. But even today, he's playing a lot more forward passes, driving forward more, getting forward more. Listen, we're gonna miss him during AFCON. He's been solid. Very underrated player. We're gonna miss him a lot when he's gone.
Who do you think comes in for Kouyate when he's gone?
You're gonna hate me. It's gonna be Luca. You're gonna hate me for saying it. It's gonna be Luca. Or if Maka is fit, it'll be Maka.
Imagine if Maka, Hughes, that's
the dream for me right now. Dream midfield for me right now.
That just puts a smile on my face. That is just scary.
That's my midfield going forward.
We're talking about the real player that we're going to miss when he goes to the AFCONs. It's the Ghanaian Ronaldinho, Jordan Ayew. You gave him a 7. I gave him an 8. And honestly, when he has the ball over the last 6 games, I know people are talking about Wilf and his goal scoring record and what he's done. Wilf scored 5 goals this season. Ayew scored 1. But ever since the Leeds game, Ayew's up there as one of our best players. And once again today, his dribbling is ridiculous. It's like the ball is stuck to his feet. And that is one area. We always talk about Jordan Ayew, how he struggles in front of goal. But he's been that type of guy. And in terms of getting the ball and dribbling past opponents, he can do that. But it seems like he's gone to another level of that. And once again, he can contribute defensively. All he has to really do is score goals.
Right.
Like, that is the only thing that was missing from his game. And today, he didn't have any opportunities where I said, we should have done a bit better in front of goal.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
What one?
No, you're right. He didn't have no one can say he missed his chance, he missed that night. He was like, exactly.
So as long as he does all the other things right, I think he's more influential than Wilf right now. I do. Over the last 6 games, ever since Leeds.
I don't know if I want to go that far. I understand where you're coming from, but my point is you're seeing it and I've seen it. People see what his role is. His role is not necessarily to score goals. It's to help out defensively, keep the ball, drive it forward, and draw fouls. That was a stat that went on, I saw a couple of weeks ago. Wilf was number 1 most foul player in the Premier League. Jordan was 4th. Since then, I can guarantee, I bet you I was second or third right now. He got fouled 6 times today. He draws fouls all the time. Why is that important? Slows the game down, gets us out of trouble, stops the game, you can regroup, and that's a big part of his game. And he's also fouled all the times in areas that are attacking, wide right or outside the box, whatever. So listen, I've been a fan of his. I've always tried to support him. People putting him down that he doesn't score goals. That's not his role. Let's get that out of our head. He's never been a striker. By the way, he's never been a striker. His brother is a striker. Andre. Jordan's never been a striker. He's a wide midfielder, attacking midfielder. He's a complementary forward, like a number 10 type thing. But as a 9, he wears number 9, but he's not a 9. He never has been a 9. But no, Jordan is doing a great job. We're going to miss him, but not more than Wilf.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about that. If you're looking at recent form, Ayew's up there, man. Ayew's up there, and I have to admit it. Like I've talked about Ayew this season, but he's changed ever since the Leeds game. He's just unbelievable. And Edward, like we talk about Wilf. Edward actually took his spot in this game. He was playing out wide,
Right.
got the penalty, very nice penalty. He scored that. Got an assist today. 8.5 for me, 8 for you. Question is, does Edward take Wilf's spot in the next game?
No, he does not.
How do you drop him?
I didn't say to drop him. So you know, let me finish. I didn't say we're gonna drop him. It doesn't take Wilf. Wilf is one of our best players because he got sent off. What, we want to send him to send him to timeout for the rest of the season. He made a mistake. Put him back in the lineup. You just put Edward on the other side.
Yeah, but do you think that'll send the right message out? Do you think that'll send the right message out to the squad? Edward was our man of the match.
I agree. He apologized after the game. He's not gonna, if we don't play him now, we're not gonna see him for another month. Is that what you want? To not see Wilf for another month? No.
Well,
you put him back in the lineup.
Edward, so what is it? Wilf gets a guarantee then. Wilf gets a guarantee into the side regardless of what happens.
It's not a guarantee. We've seen in the past of a player, if he's not injured, he goes back in the lineup. He's not injured. He got a red card. I've seen plenty of guys get a red card and then come back the next game and they come off his suspension. It's okay.
So what do you do with Edward? There's no way you drop him.
Put him up front. Drop Mateta.
I don't think so. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
It's a different team. It's not like Norwich are terrible. West Ham are not terrible. You really want to go in? You really want to go with against West Ham with Mateta, Ayew, and Edward up front? Really against West Ham?
I didn't say Mateta needs to start up front. We're talking about Mateta's performance. Mateta doesn't need to start up front. Mateta doesn't. We got other striker in terms of Benteke as well. I think Edward today out wide. You know, he done everything. He done everything that he could do. Got an assist. Got the goal, was bringing the ball forward as well, and I think you're honestly sending the wrong message out if you drop Edward next game, put him in central area. If he's getting good out wide, keep him out wide. I want to see Edward in the future play through the middle because I genuinely think that'll be his best area, and we need a real backup to Benteke. I know JP started today and scored a goal,
right?
But if you're talking about former coming out of this game, I think Edward would want to start out wide, and I don't blame him because he's done a very good job there.
So just to get this clear, so I want to get back to Edward in a second. Going forward, anybody gets a red card, next match doesn't start when they're ready to come back. Just keep benching them. Is that your view? So if it's Gahey that makes a mistake or Guaita makes a mistake, gets a red card, Joel Ward, they get a red card, they don't play next game when they're ready to play.
All right, but with your mistakes, I'm not saying Wilf should be sold or anything. Wilf has made a mistake. He lost his spot in this game. We won 3-0. We have someone in this position who scored a goal, got an assist. There's no way that you can say that Wilf comes straight back into the side because he's the king of Crystal Palace. That sends a wrong message. If it was Wilf under Roy Hodgson, then I'll say yes, because we need individual excellence to go and beat teams. But against Norwich, we've seen that, and not only against Norwich so far this season, we play as a team now. And as a team against Norwich, Edward out wide was our most important player, and he had a very good role. So why on earth would he go and bring Wilfried up just because he's going to the AFCONs? If he's going to the AFCONs, let him go to the AFCONs. He doesn't need to start before he goes to the AFCONs.
No,
he lost his spot.
He's one of our best players. He was playing fine. He had a bad game.
Let him come off the bench. Let him come off the bench. Edward needs to start. Let him come off the bench. Let him come off the bench because he doesn't deserve to start. He doesn't deserve. If Edward didn't have a good game, then I'll say, all right, bring in Wilf. He's the better player, and Edward didn't have a good game. Put him maybe up front or put him on the bench. Edward is man of the match. There is no way on earth this guy's getting dropped to the bench. He should start out wide. He should.
Totally agree that he's man of the match and deserves to play. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I wouldn't bench a player because they got a red card. That, to me, sent the wrong message. It sent the wrong message to me, just to bench him because of a red card. Because that way he's saying, don't ever make a mistake on my team. Make a mistake, you're not going to play. That make any sense.
It was a very stupid mistake, though. We're not talking about normal mistakes as well, Patrick. It was a very stupid mistake.
And we all make them.
We do.
We're all human.
And you have to pay for your mistakes at times as well.
To be honest with you, I don't think VA would bench him because of that. It might be tactically. He wouldn't bench him because of the red card. That's me. Again, having said that, Edward, great match today. Great goal. Great 2 assists. Played really well. Man of the match. Should not be benched. But I would play Zaha next match. If that requires a change in the formation, you know what? I hate to say it. Maybe you want to rest a player like Ayew, who's played 2 games in 3 days. And maybe rest Ayew, put Zaha on the other side, Edward, and then play, let's say, Benteke up front. Again, I don't know what this manager's going to do. A lot of these players played a lot of minutes in the last, couple of weeks, and they needed rest. He rested Gallagher today, as I heard. Might have been injured, might have been a rest for Gallagher. Why can't you rest Ayew? You know what I mean? So, but
No,
again,
but if Ayew's fit enough, I don't know. Gallagher's. I haven't got the numbers up with me, but Gallagher's
right,
pretty much played every single game this
all
season.
but one, except for the Chelsea game. You're right. He
Yeah,
hasn't, but the
so
Chelsea game,
there
right?
might be Ayew might be fit enough. I'm not too sure. But finally, talking about this, JP is back and he scored
He's
a goal
back.
today as well. We both gave him a 7. Um, that finish,
Very
that
good.
finish was
Very
very good. Is he can do that. We saw him against Brighton where he done that little flick, and then afterwards he went and kicked the corner flag, just like he done in the Brighton game. But with JP, do you think there's a chance for him to get more involved after today's performance? What did you think that he done well apart from the goal?
I thought he linked up well with Edward. I thought he worked hard. His hold-up play is not there with a Benteke, but he worked hard and he links up well. And again, that's a really good finish. Listen, underrated. I mean, I don't think he's left-footed. I think he's right-footed. It's a
Yeah,
good left
I
foot
think so
shot
as
from
well.
inside the box. Really well played. I want to shout myself out. Before the game, I predicted we win 3-1, and I predicted Mateta, Edward, and Ayew. So I was kind of close with my prediction. So I want to throw that out there. But as far as Mateta, listen, I got to give him a lot of credit for today. He's not played all season. I think that was his third start ever for us, right? Brighton, Leeds last year, right? And then
Yeah.
today, his third career start. He's got
He's
2
barely on the bench
goals.
for me to
He's,
even. I
right.
can't remember when his last started.
He's got 2 goals in those 3 matches. Gets tons of abuse by our fan base who've never ever seen him play. Never seen him play, but he's apparently he's rubbish.
I mean, we have seen him play come off the bench, and
yeah, but
he
again,
has
we all
been
know
a bit
that's
average.
not a good judge, though. That's not a good judge. You've said it before about Edward, right? What should Edward be doing? Playing 90 minutes, right? Haven't you said that about him? And you're right. He's starting to score goals now. So my point is, Mateta again. But again, point is, played really well today. Great goal. Probably going to leave in January. If we keep him, I'd be happy to keep him as a third striker. Great attitude, great celebration, kicking his flag again. I mean, listen, played really well today. I'm very happy for the guy. Really happy for him. Really am.
And then talking about the bench, finally Benteke came on. Both gave him a 6. He didn't have much to really do. But
scored a goal, but offside.
yeah, it was an offside goal. I knew it was offside when he scored anyways. Like
I know.
It looked.
Yeah.
Well, they was looking at it, but from my perspective, it looked clear offside.
Yeah.
But in terms of next game, now you got Benteke coming on from the bench. You got JP scoring a goal. You got Edward getting a goal and assist. So Edward was playing out wide. Who starts for you? Do you think Vieira might change Hughes up front, and do you think he should change it?
West Ham have a very shaky back 4. They've got injuries in the centre half. I'd start Benteke. I would want Mateta to go at those 2 centre halves. Their fullbacks aren't great. I think Masawaka plays on one side, maybe.
Yeah.
Right? He's not great. They got Sufal on the other side. He's decent. So I start Benteke. I know we could talk about, well, Mateta scored today, but I get all that. And if he started Mateta, no problem. But I start Benteke. He hasn't started in a while. I think last game, it was who started against well, he definitely didn't play because he was on the COVID list or something, right? So he didn't play he hasn't played the last 2 games. I would start Benteke, and like I told you, I would start Edward and Zaha, or Edward and Ayew. I mean, if you argue about Zaha all day, I have no problem switching it around because again, West Ham, a much better team than Norwich are. Not better defense because their defense is also very poor. I would like to see Benteke get a start against them. And again, he's gonna be around for a while. We're gonna lose Zaha, we're gonna lose Ayew, so there'll be chances for Mateta to play going forward, Edward playing going forward to play. So if you don't play on those 2, they're gonna play the next game against Millwall anyway, or against Brighton. So I would want to see Benteke start in the next game. And then, like I said, and whether he's that wide is fine with me. Whether he even puts in Olise, let's say, he should be back by then. So a lot of options going forward. It should be fun going forward. A lot of options.
Yeah. For one more game, then afterwards when they all go back, when they all go to the AFCONs, then that's when
3 players are going. Not everybody. It's only 3 players.
Yeah, but
Kouyate, Ayew.
apart from Wilf, Ayew's going.
Apart from Wilf, Ayew and Kouyate.
Kouyate, yeah. They're big players. Well, I mean, Ayew today, Kouyate
for
as well.
us right now, they're 3 big players. I agree, but luckily we have a good squad, so we should be okay. We have a good squad.
And then finally, Luca came back. 6.5 for you, 6 for me. He came on for the Blonde Iniesta, and I thought I haven't got the stats up with me, but I don't know. Just like Benteke, he didn't really stand out for what he'd done. There wasn't anything significant for me.
I'll give you the stats.
But he
I
didn't
give
do
you
nothing
stats.
wrong, which was a positive. He didn't do nothing wrong.
I'm with Stan. He came in on a time when we kind of losing the midfield, and he settled us down. He played 17 minutes, 90% pass success rate,
14
two
touches.
right, 14 touches, 3 crosses,
Lost possession twice.
lost possession twice, 2 key passes. I mean, honestly,
It wasn't bad.
I thought it was fine today. Well, yeah, I mean, we people like love to kill Luka. I thought he came in and he did, he's solid for the time he was in, and nothing bad happened. He didn't give the ball away, and we didn't give up a goal, whatever. So I thought it was solid. Again, people don't like him. Get used. He'll be back in the lineup when Kouyate is gone. So get used to it. I'm telling you right now.
Nah,
He's
he
our
won't.
captain.
Well, not if
He'll- he-
not if Macca's
Yeah,
back. But I don't mind
alright.
Luca coming back into the lineup if he plays solid. But he hasn't. He looks shaky at times, and maybe having some games off, maybe that helps him mentally, because we talk about the physical stuff so much, but mentally
Right.
maybe it helps Wolf as well.
And by the way, that's not
missing
going
this
to
game.
stick. By the way, the
Huh?
blonde Iniesta, it's not going to stick. Stop saying it.
It's
It's not going to stick.
It's not about it sticking. I'm just saying who he is. Unfortunately, it's not my fault that he is the blonde Iniesta. It's not about sticking. That's just who he is. But look, that's it from us today. Talked about individual performances. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed it. As always, let us know your player ratings. Agree, disagree with us. Does Zaha come back into the lineup for the next game? He done that on purpose, by the way. He knew that I was going to say that about Zaha, so pretty much there. I love Wilf a bit, but you cannot simply drop Edward after that performance. As always, thank you for supporting us this whole calendar year. This is going to be the last player ratings until 2022. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's been watching us. If you have enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, up the Palace.